Gather round, folks, and I'll tell you a tale of a guy and a couple of his friends that had an idea. An idea for a TV show about comics back in the infancy of YouTube and our halcyon days of youth. We called it last Wednesday, and we talked about comics, news, and reviews. This was long before monetization was a thing. I mean, hell, this was long before there were ads on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube used to be ad-free. We did it all for fun. Well, I did anyway. But that's a story for a different time. On occasion, we'd make it to a convention and talk to some of the creatives that made the books we loved. This is how I made friends with and got to interview some of my favorite people in comics. Speaking of which, prepare for incoming time capsule in 3, 2, 1.
We are back with continuing coverage of MegaCon 2007 here on last Wednesday. Now, my next guest you may know from Wizard Magazine. He answered all of your letters with such wit and witticism. Mr. Jim McLauchlin, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad at all. So what's your favorite part about the con experience in general?
I like the costumes. You know, I really enjoy this convention in particular. There seemed to be a hugely disproportionate amount of people in costumes. Always very entertaining. There seems to be a really huge proportion of like the manga anime fans at MegaCon as well. So there's all these costumes I can't recognize at all. I have no damn idea what they are. But a lot of them are very billowy and winnowy and sometimes see-through, which is entertaining as well.
Always entertaining, yes, definitely. So how did you get into this crazy, wonderful industry we call comics?
I kind of needed a job, and somebody was willing to give me a job, and I had a lease, and I had rent to pay, and that's the long story short. Actually, I was working for Wizard Entertainment when they had a sports collectibles magazine. My background is as a sports writer. And like most magazine launches, unfortunately, it went tits up in about 2 years. And when it did, they offered me a job elsewhere within the company, running their promotions and publicity department. And like I said, I saw the upside in gainful employment. I had a lease and a landlord who expected some money. So I took that job, and years and years and years and years and years later, I'm still stuck.
Well, you seem to enjoy it. You seem to have quite a bit of fun with it. So how did you get into sports writing? You said you were a sports writer.
Yeah. One day, honestly, I was working as a clerk in a bookstore, and I got a paycheck. I came home. I sat down with the stack of bills. I paid the electric bill, the phone bill, the rent bill, the whatever, and I realized I had $9.12 to tide me over until my next paycheck. So I said, the hell with this. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. So I picked up a baseball magazine that I enjoyed. It had a certain editorial attitude towards it that was very tongue-in-cheek, very smart-ass, and I said, I like this magazine. So wrote a letter to the editor saying, hey, my name is Jim McLauchlin. My entire life I've been able to convince people that I actually know how to write. I dig your magazine. Send me a copy of your editorial guidelines. I'd like to see if I can do some work for you. The editor sent me back a letter going, hey, that was great. If you can write an article as well as you can write a request for editorial guidelines, I think we're in business. And lo and behold, we were.
That's awesome. That's great. And what do you currently read as comic book-wise?
I read a lot of stuff. I mean, I probably read somewhere in the neighborhood of, I don't even know what it is. I think it's probably 70 or 80 books a month. It's a lot. Things that always hop to the top of the pile are Strangers in Paradise, which is an amazing book. Why the Last Man is also great. Fables is great. On the rare occasion when it comes out, Stray Bullets is a book I also enjoy. So there's a lot of stuff, but that's the top of the pile stuff.
So more of a little Vertigo kind of indie, little Image stuff going on?
Seems like that's where most of my tastes lie.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very much, Jim. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the con here today.
Thanks.
Oh, one last question. Are you going to San Diego this year?
Very likely.
Excellent. I've heard it's a great show to be at.
It's a monstrosity beyond belief. I think it's got to a point where it's almost unmanageable and unworkable, but we'll see.
Excellent. It sounds like a great time. Well, thank you once again, sir. I really appreciate it.